What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 87 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I am your host, and, well, actually, just in general, this is it. This is the culmination of a year-long video game. I don't call it punishment. It's not punishment.
It's punishment.
It's not
punishment. One of the characters is literally named Punish Snake. Okay, so, like, yeah.
That's not quite what it means. Anyway... It is your host and mastermind behind it all, Alex, the Big Boss Arona. And it's a packed house tonight. We got Joel, Revolver, Ocelot, DeWitte.
You're pretty good.
I don't get that one. But I love the throwback that we're giving each other names here. And then we also got Getty. Might as well just be Otacon.
Hold it, Alex. It's time to change the disc. I know it's a pain. Oh, God.
You didn't say EE. You were
not going to say this with the power of the PlayStation 3.
EE is so stupid. EE is so stupid. And, well, we don't have time to change discs because here it is, our hero, Solid Snake, Kevin Hartwig. Welcome to Outer Kevin.
And I wrote that for myself. Let's go ahead. I get it. Take two. Welcome to Outer Kevin.
Nah, he just burgundies it.
Yeah, you gotta realize I Ron Burgundy all of this.
Like, he actually tried to do the normal opening, but I didn't write it normal. I didn't do the my name is Alex Arona this time.
Yep.
I wanted more hype. I needed more hype.
Unfortunately, again, I Ron Burgundy all of this. So, with that being said, I generally am not the best podcast host there can be, and that's okay. That's okay. But first, we're going to talk about Metal Gear this week. But wait, we can't start there either. Let's go to early adopters, since we became trash sailors this week. Oh, and while we're at it, let's hype some Extra Life news. We're always hyping Extra Life news. Extra Life is for life. Extra Life for life. Can't stop, won't stop.
I heard fur life. And that has...
Yeah, and you need to throw some hashtag ads in there.
Hashtag ad, okay. And
yes,
then...
hashtag ads for furs.
We can have our last Metal Gear talk until Revengeance. But first, early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that are still so broken that your character might become a cube. I saw some of that happening. That was messed up.
Yeah.
We played, but this game. But I also want to say, characters becoming cubes. Hartwig.
Yes.
How's Baldur's Gate 3?
It is great. I'm really enjoying it. I'll tell you what, that only happened in those first few days where I had some characters, like, when they died, they, like, polyed out and stretched. There were some pretty horrific ones I think I shared to you that actually happened while I was streaming, that were, like 40 feet of a stretched character.
When you say polyed out, do you mean, like, if you were in Windows and it was starting to freeze and you were pulling a window across the screen?
Oh, yeah.
We were preparing to podcast, and I just happened to pull up his stream, and right before it, I was like, Getty, you got to see this. This is horrifying.
But surprisingly, that only happened like maybe 2 or 3 more times. It is great, though. I started a second game already as a ranger. I'm really getting deep into the D&D rules. What is that about? The
ranger trash out of here.
Getty is all cleric. Getty is all cleric.
Cleric, you know what? The cleric character that you can find and have joined your parties turned out to be my favorite character, actually. So I don't know if that was because clerics are just awesome, or if her character just is extra cool. So right now Sam is playing through it. So she's enjoying it too. But it is a lot. I've always wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons, but never have. So I have just like more questions than I have answers. Like it's like, and the level cap right now is level 4. So I probably played it for like 25, maybe 30 hours, like pretty thoroughly. But I don't know exactly because I can't launch it through Steam. I bought it, downloaded it through Steam. Yep. That's the case.
That's real weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, I'll just tell you what my situation is exactly. I'm like, it's not very glitchy, except for this major thing. It doesn't launch through the platform I purchased it on. So like, I'll go into Steam and I'll double click it to launch it, and it just like says it's starting, running, and then just drops. Nothing launches, no new windows or anything. So I just started launching it from the exe file in the Steam library, and that works just fine. So I don't know if they're getting the metrics from my game because I'm not technically playing it through Steam or whatever, but I am enjoying it when I get it to play. I assume that's something that they will get ironed out. I know that they've been.
Are you seeing? So, one of the things, games like Divinity have a big emphasis on combat, and some of the things that people are talking about is that in this game, you can definitely think outside the box to get a little bit outside.
Oh yeah,
of that
and yeah, definitely. Even more so than like Divinity. The biggest difference between them, first of all, is that the D&D rule set is just different. Mm-hmm. It's with the actions and bonus actions, and it's really like action management rather than like
it's straight up. Okay.
Rather than like AP management. So like in Divinity, you use AP for movement. Like it's one AP pool that you use for movement and all your stuff.
Yep.
But like D&D, it's just different. And at first it was a challenge for me to like adjust to that. But there is a lot of cool flexibility, and I love shoving people for one thing, because like I find myself in like a lot of situations where I'm like, well, what should I do now on my turn? Well, right now, like I don't want to use like a spell slot or something for something I don't need, so I'll just like shove people like a lot, or just try to shove people. And there have been times where I've been able to shove people off of edges of stuff to take falling damage, or I've pushed them into fire, or I've pushed a boulder onto them. Like, it's very cool. It's very cool. And I haven't, besides my first playthrough where like, it was really me just like getting a first grasp on the D&D rules, like the 5th edition rules at all. That I didn't really look for a lot of environmental stuff like that. I was just trying to make it through. I'm like, what do I do? What's here right now in this moment? And turns out like there's a lot. And I like the way that they have, like, they manage the inventories. Like the interfaces are pretty good already. It's just because I always play with a controller, or at least I know that it's like weird to most people that like I play Divinity with a controller.
Yeah, it's straight up bonkers. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
So learning mouse and keyboard has been tricky for it, but it's actually a lot easier to manage.
Yeah,
I believe
like a lot of things. But the movement is I'd much rather move around with a controller. And as soon as they incorporate controller
support,
yeah, thank you.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, it'll happen, but it just won't happen soon. There's no reason they won't incorporate it by like official release.
Well, when they push for console release, they're gonna start working on Joel, your dog.
Yep,
your dog is best.
That's so good.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, what are you doing?
But no, Divinity Original Sin 1, which was like 5 years ago, I think it was 2015, and Original Sin 2 both had like native controller support that like at launch, I think. Now Original Sin 1 was like pretty wonky with the controller support, and the way that like Wasteland 3 is great, but like its controller support is like iffy. But Original Sin 2, which is like the barometer for what I go off of in terms of like what they are able to do with what the engine, because they're literally working with like the Divinity engine. It feels like it should be easy for them to incorporate controller support, but they have like bigger fish to fry, because like you said, like it's a very small minority of people who are looking for controller support at all. So like I get that, but I expect it by launch.
So how do you move currently? Is it WASD or is it the mouse?
It's click to move, and like you can hold, you can hold click to just like move continuously. I use right click to rotate the camera around my character, and then I use WASD for like free camera.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'll hold like second click to rotate. But yeah, so I've gotten used to it a little bit. And I'm really enjoying it. My first character was a tiefling warlock, which I really enjoyed, and I went with an eldritch knight one, which means that I got some cool like my cantrip was one of my favorite things, because like at some of the levels I was able to choose like bonuses, and I picked bonuses that were specific to making my cantrip better, so that like when it would hit, it would push them back 10 meters or something. So
is it Eldritch Blast that you had?
Yes, correct.
Okay, yeah, that's the standard warlock cantrip.
Yeah,
you can modify it quite a bit once you actually. So I assume that since you're only able to get to 4th level, it's basically the same as what you would see in the player's handbook. So the amount of modifications that you can do to the spell right now isn't very much, but once you get up to the higher levels, you're able to do some pretty stupid stuff. Like you can increase the range even further.
That is so exciting.
Yeah. No, that is. I think that I'll eventually end up picking it up just to play around a little bit more. I do like the warlock.
It is currently unfinished, but they're doing a lot of work to it.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've read about a little bit is people's like concern about how D&D like 5th edition scales level wise. That like, and Alex, we've talked about this a little bit. How like the max is 20, right? And so that means that like by the time characters are at like 17, 18, 19, the things that they're doing are like insane, like just to like match up with their skill set but have it still be challenging. Like the scale of the battles gets like crazy in actual D&D. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, or if it's just that there's more unique enemies that have like a lot of like I don't know. I don't know how challenges are going to scale up, because even at level 4, I started finding myself like, my party is pretty strong. Like, I was getting cocky, and then like a level, like some, I don't know, underground mole monster jumped up, and my party got wiped like immediately. And I just wonder, like, how are they going to keep that, like when I'm level 15?
Oh, they will.
And
Trust me.
And another thing is that like a lot of people reference the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which I have not played, but I guess with like expansions and everything, Baldur's Gate 2 goes up to like level 50 plus. So like people hearing that BG3 might only go to 20 was like alarming.
It's because they used to have prestige classes for the characters or the classes, so you could main a fighter until a certain level, and then you could, dual class, or you could jump into a prestige class, and then that was even more complicated, in my opinion, than some of the stuff now. In some way, I wish they'd bring it back, but in other ways, the characters feel pretty complete right now.
I will say that, at least from a Larian perspective, Divinity Original Sin 2, which is a humongous game, they max level was like, I think if you got max XP, you could get up to 22, but it was really like you were finishing the game at 19. Well, if you were finishing the game at 19, it was probably on like Explorer mode. But like, but like you were finishing the game at like 20 or like 21 if you had been really thorough. And the difference between levels is really dramatic, and I think that lends itself well to them continuing to make Baldur's Gate 3 like pretty kick-ass. So I'm really excited to see what they're doing next, but I'm trying not to like overeat a little. Like I took a play, like I did a playthrough with my Warlock. It was great. I started my second character as like a Wood Elf Ranger. Felt like a classic sort of like a choice that makes sense. But then I'm like, okay, let's take a minute from this, let it cool, and then I'll come back to it again.
There have been a couple of games that people have like bought into the early access and then decided like, oh, I'm gonna take a step back and just kind of let it bake some more.
Well, and I think, yeah, go ahead.
Have they given a roadmap at all about when they plan on staging out the next part of this?
Not they do regular community updates, or semi-regular, in addition to their like little hot fixes and updates that come through, and which there's been like a half a dozen of those. But they like they'll do like up to date updates. Like they'll give you a bunch of details about what's happening right now, and then be like, stay tuned for what's happening next. But they haven't really, like, that I've seen, put out a solid thing besides the general statement that like they're going to be in early access for at least a year, before the thing goes, 1.0 or whatever. But besides that, no, just regular kind of little updates. They've been really funny, and they're very like Larian. Like they have been using their analytics to find out funny information. And one of the things they did was figuring out the average character that people were creating, which looked like a completely generic white guy.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
And Sven, any announcement that they make, I assume that it's him doing it, even though that's probably crazy. He's probably very busy. They have a social media director, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like I hear in his voice, that like they were like, congratulations, we're very disappointed in you. Like you made the average vault dweller. And they kind of like jokingly trolled the community a little bit, but I think they sold 1 million units already, and I don't think they thought that was gonna happen. Like certainly not at 60. I knew it was a steep price, but like I am like a Larian fanboy at this point. So like for me, it was as much about being in on the ground floor just to get in and check it out as it was to actually play it. And listen, the game it's going to need a lot of smoothing. And this was a problem in Original Sin 1 and Original Sin 2 before 2 got its like definitive update, was the journal is kind of a mess still. And I think like the quest journal, which, that makes sense. Like there's like, it's hard to keep those things like visually interesting, but also organized. Yeah. And not confusing. And like, that was one thing about even Original Sin 2 that I was like, the first time I played it, I was like, I mostly know what's happening, but there's a lot of stuff that is very confusing about what's laid out here. And like what quests are open and what's closed and that kind of thing. But Baldur's Gate 3 feels very distinct from Divinity. It plays very differently in combat and in conversation. And one thing that I'm learning is like, just because there is a skill check to be attempted,
Maybe you shouldn't do it all the time.
doesn't mean. And here's the tricky thing about the way, and I'm not sure that how D&D plays exactly.
Exactly
but,
like that.
But basically, like it will tell you what your roles will be, like what your bonuses are, like what you would know.
Yes.
But it doesn't tell you necessarily what they're like, what you have to hit.
Yeah, so that's what we call a DC, your skill check DC. So there's a set number that's hidden from you, and you need to either meet or exceed it in order to succeed at your skill check.
Yeah, and so like I'll be like, I really tried to like lean into like the role play aspect of it, which I usually do anyways. But so I'm like, oh, my character would definitely say that. So I would attempt a thing, and then it's like, oh great, I need to hit like a 17 or an 18 to do, like I would have picked a different thing, or like, you know what I mean, like. But so there is that element of like just not knowing. Like the first encounter I had with an enemy, the very first time I played the game, first day, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try to do this thing, and it popped out, and it was a brain that like popped out legs and like tentacles, and it one-shotted me immediately, and it was like game over. And I'm like, oh my god, Dungeons and Dragons, holy shit! I need to be more careful. So yeah, it's I'm having a blast, and there's a long road.
Well, Kevin, I look forward to your Larian partnered Twitch streaming career.
That would be so. I would so do that.
And also, your name now is changing from Metal Gear Kevin. You are saying goodbye to that moniker and becoming Dungeon Master Hartwig.
One-shotted by Krang. Wow.
Yep. One-shotted by Krang.
It kind of. Yeah, you know what? It was Krang.
Well, I mean,
it was. Oh my god, is everything derivative of Dungeons and Dragons?
Kinda. Moving on from becoming Dungeon Master Hartwig, I would also like to call you Trash Sailor Hartwig.
The trashiest of sailors.
Trashiest of sailors.
It was rough going.
We played Trash Sailors. We played Trash Sailors.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
Joel, can you break this one down for me? What is Trash Sailors?
I mean, if I have to. Trash Sailors is a multiplayer. It's sort of in the same vein as something like Overcooked, where you are cooperating with a couple people. Hi, how are you?
I just want to say hi.
I know. Sorry, Kelly just got back from work now, so she's. I wanted to say hi to her real quick.
Yes.
I love you. Okay, Trash Sailors is an Overcooked-like game, except the premise is you are on a boat, sort of like a raft with a little sail and a motor. And the whole objective is kind of to get from start to end of each of these sort of open-ended courses. Now, the mechanic is that you have to get sort of supplies to keep your boat maintained as well as keep your engine running.
Don't sugarcoat it, Joel. You need to get trash.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up garbage out
and
of
you
the
staple
water.
the trash directly to your ship. That is what your ship is.
Accurate. So you're collecting this trash, and you put it in this bin, and it's almost kind of like the slot thing where you need to have 3 different types of trash that you throw into it, right? And that sort of gives you the most payout of resources to use. I think it still gives you some sort of resource if you don't get it right. It's just not as much.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But part of the conceit is that like you got 1 or 2 people that can be driving the motor and actually like turning the wheel. And you can actually, if you're not running the engine, you can sort of hop up and down on one side to help influence how hard it's turning too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all played 2-player because we couldn't get multiplayer connected on it, and we had to do the sort of Steam play together thing. And so like it still worked pretty well in that 2-player setup. Maybe not for Hartwig because he had to use mouse and keyboard, but like all in all, it still worked pretty decently. And these different courses, like it starts off pretty light. And even in the 4 that we had, it ramped up in difficulty pretty quick because we eventually got to like alligators attacking the side of the ship. You had to like bash them off,
fight them, yeah.
Or pirates that would be jumping on your ship and shooting at your ship that you had to bat back. Icebergs that you had to shoot away to not run into them.
Spiders.
Yeah, spiders. We our game cut out right before that. Hartwig disconnected right before that. He got spared.
It listen, I tried to do mostly the driving because I was like, oh, I know exactly what keyboard button it wants me to push to drive this shit. So like I'm gonna do that's what I'm gonna do, but it was pretty rough otherwise.
I just remember just yelling, Getty yelling, oh god, we need more trash, and I'm just getting eaten by an alligator. Like I'm literally in its jaws waving. The artwork is like Don't Starve, so it's kind of hand drawn, kind of sketchy, sketch lines and kind of uneven,
kind of paper craftish, and it adds a layering effect to everything, especially the waving waters and how it's just like layer after layer after layer, and gives it some nice depth to it too.
Yeah. So it's very comedic. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot to find in that kind of mechanic of putting everybody on a ship when chaos ensues and pirates are trying to shoot cannons at you, but also boarding your ship. Everyone's trying to fight, but also trying to build your ship back together because pieces are falling off. There's a lot going on there that it's pretty fun, and I think that in the world of trying to come up with new fun party games, I think that having the idea of driving this trash ship with a peg leg while fighting off gators is a very funny idea to me.
Those characters, they all had very distinct personalities.
That's
just
what I was
looking
going to say too. One of them, I mentioned this, one of them had like a major mood. It was like just like he was just like sad and like kind of sweaty. Like,
shirt that didn't cover his whole body. He had a whole midriff thing where you'd see his belly.
It was just, I looked at him and it was like I looked into a mirror. In that moment, it was wonderful.
Well, I mean, again, I think that's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. I think that's going to be going on my future list.
Yeah, that's a party game. That's one for your list for sure. I just can never play it again with a mouse and keyboard. I'll just watch and like rotate it. Next time we'll just not even bother.
There will be online. The online option was there. It just wasn't enabled yet.
I think it's just
still
we
in demo.
We were jerry rigging our setup to actually get it to connect.
It was, you know what? We managed.
We did.
We managed.
Well, looks like we're all true garbage sailors now. Yo ho ho, and a bottle of toenails.
Yeah.
I
what? Where did that come from?
My mind.
Thank you for having me on the show.
You know those contests where they have like a jar of M&Ms and they asked you to guess how many toenails do you think could fit in that kind of
I'm
jar?
going away now. We're going on break.
Like thousands.
I'm getting us out of here.
Thousands of toenails.
Hold on. Dude. And we're back. But, hey news. Hartwig brought you some flowers since he was away so long. And I just put some posters up in my room. Kept you waiting, huh?
You waiting, huh?
Hey, no? Nothing? I got nothing on that one?
Nope.
That's it. That.
Try harder.
I wish I had flowers.
Would Hartwig bring someone flowers?
I just thought it was funny to put the posters in the room because I thought that
Flowers.
I believe it.
I thought the trigger would be when
Now-
I said you don't even have like the posters. You don't even have posters in your room.
When's the last time you gave Sam flowers?
What? I mean, gosh.
Oh man,
Since
this is
the
getting judgy here.
Mm-hmm.
And since the pandemic, it was probably mid-August. Was the last time I got flowers.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
You want to know
Fair
what occasion?
No,
Nope.
not particularly.
No fucking occasion. Just randomly.
Boom.
Damn.
Air 5 on that one, buddy. Boom. There we go.
Wait, do you get to turn the table on Joel now?
Joel,
was
when was the last time you
got-
did it?
No. Nah, man.
About 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry.
I got a week. I got a week. All right. First piece of news. 2 more weeks until Extra Life. We are raising that money. We are making them funds. We are what? How much is it? Anyone remember off the cup?
We got money.
How much?
There's
By
money.
the time, yeah, like we got between $1 and I don't know.
We're last time I checked, it was like 1,300.
Ooh.
That seems. Hold on.
Diddy
I
was
think I
going
have
by the
it.
Price is Right rules. Just
Yeah.
trying the desk without going over.
I know.
$1,301.
Damn it. So close.
I feel like I have this information. Also, good news, guys. The merch will be available, or at least I'll have it by the time we get to stream Extra Life. So
Woo.
Nice.
we are
Very
at
good.
$2,125.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Wait, what was that
Like-
number again?
2,125.
When did we get over 2,000?
It's been a little while.
I
Like
thought
a
that
week
was
or
the
so.
goal. I thought that was the last goal.
It went. I'm pretty sure it went
Did I
over
make the goal
2,000
higher? Did I make the goal
During-
2,500? Maybe I forgot.
Yeah,
during
probably did.
the finale. During the finale stream, isn't that when it went over 2,000?
Oh, you know what? It very well could be. I might have flaked on this one.
I don't think it was like because of me, but like,
We got money.
like I
Is it
helped.
2,500? I was off. Well, so we're getting ready for Extra Life. We are going to be doing some online streams. We're going to be doing some together streams, and we're going to have a lot of fun with some ideas that we're putting together.
Who?
Joel's
Who's
got
putting
his
stuff
suckathon
together?
going. That's
Accurate.
How is that happening?
What?
I said your suckathon's offensive.
Well, that's kind
Well-
of the point.
It couldn't be any more offensive than Steve busting out his meat. So
I'm not sure that I've seen the most recent
Steve's-
agenda.
Steve's meat got patched out, so like
yeah,
This
You
is
know,
not on the
made him-
agenda.
Hacking the
censorship
meat.
striking a bit again here. You know that.
God damn
So
it. I'm
help
getting this
me
out of here. All right. 2 games that we have previously discussed on this podcast have gone 1.0. Crown Trick and Scourgebringer are going live. So that's just a piece of news that is happy for those developers. Some might say it was because of us. No one would say that.
who
No one
would say that?
No one would say that.
I don't think so.
Scourgebringer.
That was a good one. You missed out on that one, Joel.
I
Yeah,
missed
that
out
was-
on a lot of them.
You were
It's
on-
a roguelike pass.
It's awesome. Getty, this one was for you. Lab Zero, developers of Indivisible and Skullgirls. They have all kind of disbanded. They were working towards a project to be developer owned, meaning that anybody that worked there owned part of the company, and they were working with a man named Mike Ziamat. And as it turns out, he was a shitty person and had shitty behavior. He said, if you don't like it, get out. So half the team quit, and then he fired everybody else.
Yeah, I heard about. Well, I saw that they released information. Was it a month ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, saying that they weren't going to be able to finish releasing any of the content for Indivisible, which
Yeah.
is a real shame because they crowdfunded the hell out of that project.
And they did good work with it. It was a good game, which
Oh,
again,
it's a
we
really
played here.
good game.
We played here.
Yeah, I'm still trying to make it through. It's I got distracted. I Alexed it up.
I fixed
rough.
the problem, Getty. I fixed
rough.
the problem.
You just stopped playing 9 different things and you started playing one thing?
Yes, I started manhandling Paper Mario. I literally have 2 more streamers left.
Oh yeah, you've gone far past me on Mario.
I just
now.
manhandled that thing.
Well, you still have the boss rush after you get through the streamer, so.
Shut up. So the next one was AOC Twitch streaming. Did anybody catch this?
Keep your politics out of my video games.
You tweeted it out. It was cool to see them playing Among Us, another hot indie game.
I read somewhere she got like 400,000 viewers. That's insane. Like, unsurprising, but crazy.
And here we sit. We can't even get 4. Somebody needs to run for public office here so that we can gain some traction.
There's only one person here capable of doing that.
I mean, we're 4 millennial white dudes, so I don't know what you expect.
Not
Hartwig?
white. Not white. Not white.
No,
This
you're
guy right here.
you're
Yeah, but Beth is in the background, so.
Beth counts. I've ruined her name. She doesn't mind her now. And then the last piece of news I wanted to bring here is Fire Emblem 1 coming to Switch, first time in America, December 2020. Joel, any excitement levels on this?
No, not really. Like
Really?
I was curious about it, but number one, it's limited time. They're doing that whole like delisting by March 31st thing on
Weird.
this. Yeah, which like follows along with that Mario 35, the Super Mario 3D All-Star stuff. Wild. I mean, it looks interesting. I might get it just as a curiosity because I've gotten a lot more into Fire Emblem ever since Awakening. But did you see that box art or that physical edition?
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's just a digital code. It's not on a cart or anything.
It's got
Why
the
would you need
cartridge.
that?
It looks like a cart. It looks like an NES cart.
It's the future.
Mm-hmm. So I might do it as a curiosity. I feel kind of bad supporting this crappy behavior with the whole like Disney Vault, kind of method they're going with.
I mean,
but
it is a heavy price point here, Joel. We're talking what,
$6.
$7?
Was that?
I think it was 6 or 7. I saw Trey from Nintendo Main talking about it, and that's kind of where I picked up on it.
But like a part of me feels like that should be on the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Like
6. It is 6.
Yes. That was my first original thought was, oh cool, Nintendo Switch Online's getting a thing. That's pretty good.
Right.
I mean, they got Breath of Fire 1 and 2, and that got me pretty hyped. Having Dragon Quest 1 was pretty cool, and then having Fire Emblem 1 would be a good get, but now this is just weird. So I don't know if I love that. Yeah, what you gonna do? Now, we're gonna get in our cardboard box and take another break. Don't worry, it's just a box. I'll be right back. I gotta get my mouse to the right spot. And we're back.
Big ass jug of water. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, it is.
We're all
back.
packing huge glasses of water.
With the Backlog blog, where we play games to finish out an epic series, greatest story ever told.
Don't make me spit water out all over everything, because that's what it makes me want to do.
Does it?
Pretty soon you're to have to pull a Johnny and just wet yourself.
Oh God, I gotta go. He was a hero in the end.
He was an unlikely hero. You're right.
So,
Kevin,
okay.
how did it make you feel knowing that it was Big Boss that whizzed himself at the end? We're just cutting straight to that.
Listen, I kind of like the fact that we dogpile truths on him that aren't necessarily truths and he's going to hate. How did it feel knowing that Ocelot was the unsung hero of the entire series?
Well, first of all, I don't agree with that. It's Raiden. Okay.
It's always been
Kevin,
Raiden.
Did you figure out that the Phantom Pain refers to your character in
Yeah.
Metal Gear 5?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I played over 100 hours of it, and it made it very clear at the end.
It's got to let you know.
It really let me know. And then it dumped 40 minutes of tapes on me after I didn't listen to those until earlier today. I already did.
Oh, God. Why?
I wanted to know all the stuff with Zero. And then I realized, why? Just why?
Kevin, did you figure out the recipe to make the perfect burger?
That was the dumbest shit. Let me tell you about fucking hamburger shit. Okay.
His name was Code Talker. Was that what it was?
Yeah, Code Talker.
Okay.
Is it 30 seconds? Is it a 30-second hamburger tape? And
Well, it keeps going. It's actually multiple tapes of him.
Listen, I'm doing a thing.
Okay.
I know what it is. I just fucking played the game. Okay. Does Kojima do this little hamburger bit with like 6 tapes that you find? They're each like 30, 35. No. 4 minutes. 6 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes. 8 minutes. They're not. It's some of the in one of the tapes that I got today that came with the finale. Okay. It was the conversation between Paz and Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the first, and I'm not exaggerating here because I looked at the tape while it was playing because I just was sitting in an open field sending out combat deployments. Okay. While I listened to 80 minutes of tapes. Okay. All right. And it was 61 seconds of like echoes of nothing in an empty concrete room before like you started hearing some footsteps of Paz and then like some like and then like there was then like stuff was that like conversation was had. But like it was like 60 seconds of like a drop of water happens in a hallway. Like I don't need that. Okay?
It's
like,
building suspense.
No,
Somebody needed it.
No, because no. It builds suspense if and I cannot even stick on this tape.
Okay, hold on. Let's move forward. Hold on. We have a lot of stuff going on. Okay, first.
But before that, the reason why it's all in tapes is because they couldn't afford Kiefer Sutherland for more than his actual voice acting, so they needed to do info dumps via tapes. That said, I actually enjoyed listening to it, though. Quite a bit.
I especially liked. Here's the thing. There's a lot. So, like, I liked listening to tapes, especially, like, I would go out in side ops and, like, listen to tapes while I'm, like, out doing shit, like, in the open area, because there's a lot of, like, transition times from the helicopters coming down, bringing you to a new place, or you could just run and just spend the time that way.
Yeah.
But it'll also be, like, it just happens it's like you'll finish a thing and it'll be like 17 new tapes, and it's like, well, and like that was one of the problems with the hamburger bit. Like that might have been a great bit, but there were like 8 tapes at that moment that I needed to listen to, like way more important than this fucking hamburger conversation. Okay, like period. And I also felt like some of the tapes I got today, secret conversations with Zero and basically all the major characters. It's like Zero secret conversation, Zero and Ocelot, Zero and Big Boss, Zero and Paz, Zero and like I would have liked to get those like sprinkled a little bit. You know what I mean? Like rather than like here's a bunch of, they literally call them the truth tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that subtlety is not his deal, okay, but it was a little much. It was a little much.
Okay.
Was it? I think it was just enough.
Just enough.
Well, okay.
No,
so the thing is, though, is that we understand that you were like, this is too much or this is ridiculous. In our case, we were laughing the entire way, not at you. I'm saying is that when we were playing it, every time you're like, God damn it, Kojima. We're over here going, God damn, Kojima, that was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect, like just enough to be stupid. And in a way that blends he's trying to tell a story, or that motherfucker's trying to tell a story. You know, it just like it really kind of hits these, like you can laugh or you can think that's really kind of cool, and it really goes back and forth in a very, and that's kind of what you said, like pacing issues. It goes at a real rapid clip of trying to be
very.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's just a lot. It is just a goddamn lot. Okay. But Metal Gear Solid 5, I think I would rank as the second best one of the whole lot of them.
Okay, all right, so let's start there. Let's start there.
Okay.
What's your ranking?
1. I'm pretty certain that the first one is my favorite one.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a fair choice.
Classic.
All right.
Okay. I would argue that it's like 1, 5.
Okay.
I don't know. 5 is pretty stupid, but 5
It's the best gameplay.
but 5, but it is so far and above better gameplay than the others that I think it has to be in the top 3. I'll tell you what, I loved, and I maybe didn't communicate this as much at the time, but I loved Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Because that one, every step of the way, I was like, Kojima, you son of a bitch. Like I was and it's funny because that one at the beginning of me streaming it, like the first part of the game, I was having major computer issues still.
Yeah.
So the performance was fucked. But as soon as that, like I cleaned my computer, and it started working like Metal Gear Solid 4 works, I was like, ooh. And there was just like so much juice in Metal Gear Solid 4. And even though like I would have preferred, I don't know, man, so much stuff happens. Like all the stuff.
It was supposed to be the ending.
Yeah.
Correct.
It was, and it felt,
I would say,
it felt complete.
It was a Lord of the Rings 4 endings.
Oh yeah,
just keeps ending over and over.
So, but I think Metal Gear Solid 5 is more egregious of that because there's weird random shit in the middle that you can't. Yeah,
I would have originally disagreed with you until because I completely forgot about all of that, and then I was like,
all the shit that I just went through to make that ending happen. I'm like, geez,
But the pacing of that game is so binge and purge though, because there's so much of that game where they give you almost nothing for a pretense of a story other than this is the next mission, this is the next mission, and then they put their foot off the hose and it just comes all bursting out at once.
And then before you know it, you're sitting in the back of a fucking Jeep with Skullface where he's just talking at you for 8 minutes. Okay? I thought a lot more of the dumps were going to be through conversations like that. Like, I wanted to, like, see Zero talking, like, forget Kiefer Sutherland. Like, I wanted to, and I know there's secret tapes because somebody was secretly recording them. So, like, we're not privy to seeing what actually happened. Blah, blah. But, like, I wanted to see Zero talking with the Ocelot. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted, like, I found myself, and this is earlier today, so it was really fresh. I found myself thinking, like, I want to see this happen. Because Ocelot is just like a quadruple agent, like, all the time. But yeah, I would say 1, 4, 5, 3, 2.
Okay. See, I'm all 3. I'm at number 3 is my number 1.
I love 3 is where the boss is really like the bees. I get stuck on the bees. You guys know I get stuck on the bees guy. But like, but then like the ends fight is so like variable in how you could do it, and like those little like just waiting for him to die, or like hitting him at that early point where you see him over at the docks before you even fight him, like way before. So like I would say 2 over 3. But and I'm only gonna say it just this one time, but Jack and Rose is the dumbest shit I've ever heard entire my full life, including in a video game, and it ruined the whole ending. So that's everything. Okay, that's all. So, but yeah, I would say 1, and then 4, and then 5, 5, 3, 2. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing: 3 also had Ava and like young Ocelot is so great. Like that, I think that's my favorite version of Ocelot.
Is that because we have a list here of kind of things we want to touch on out of the whole series? Is that one of the things, the story threads you wanted more of? Did you want more young Ocelot?
No, I don't think I wanted like more of
where he's meowing.
But like you sort of no, I didn't feel like I wanted like, oh, I wish I knew more about, like, I feel like it gave me all I wanted to know about it, which is why I think young Ocelot and like how you could see him transforming into like, oh, now he's got a revolver instead of this other gun and blah 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 blah. No, I like that a lot. That's one of my favorite aspects of 3. Like when I think about 3, the image that jumps into my head is like the various encounters that Big Boss has with young Ocelot. Like that's a lot. That's
their budding bromance.
Yeah, it is. That's a lot of what I remember about 3. I know like a lot of stuff happens in 3. But like, yeah. But 4, it's hard to ignore all of the fan service there.
It's just so dense.
Yeah. And that I really enjoyed. I did.
Okay, now there are highs and lows of the Metal Gear series. What do you can go with the series as a whole, but I'd also like to hear what your thoughts are, because again, you just finished 5.
I'll try to start by being specific to 5 and then expanding.
Okay.
So highs of 5. Oh, hold on. Is that my? let me turn my air conditioning off because that is going to be terrible. So one moment, and I'll think of my highs.
Getty, what's your Metal Gear list? What's your tops and their bottoms?
Man, I didn't expect to be put on the spot like this. It's probably similar to Kevin's. I would definitely go 1, and then probably 5, 4, 2, and then 3.
You all are blasphemous
difficult.
hating on 3.
I threw it at the end just to see. I really didn't mind 2 as much. It was. We're obviously at the point where we know what happens and how asinine the whole thing is. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
this is all a simulation. None of this happened.
Stop. Nope.
What is real?
Stop. I'm commanding you to stop.
Yeah, the surprise ending. Kevin, if you finished 6 more missions in Metal Gear 5, you become Vamp.
Oh,
that makes me want to never risk playing it another. Like if it accidentally somehow happens that like, haha, now you've done this, and you captured a bat. Now you're vampire.
Nanomachines.
Yeah, and no, they wouldn't even say that. It would just be, you're just a vampire now.
I saw these bright lights in the sky. I woke up in a field. Harry Carey.
Okay, so highs. Sahelanthropus is a fight that it was a pretty high. And not just actually like the Sahelanthropus fight got that like as you're running through these canyons, basically over these hills. It's okay. So Sahelanthropus starts out. There's this moment. Where it comes out and it's on 4, like it's on 4 legs, and it just rears up, and it is this moment that it was in awe. And I thought that all the direction around that fight, as well as when Eli and the kids all hijack it and like leave across the ocean with it, like that was like a really high moment for me. And I think that was part of my problem when I was transitioning to the additional endings. I felt that high moment there, and when I found out, like, this is not really the end, like, what? Like, that, like, it sort of was like, it felt a little dismissive. Even though, like, that's not true. It was still the moment that it was. And then, in general, the gameplay. Okay, the high of this is the fucking gameplay is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay? And the technical quality that they achieved, even it being as old as it is, like, because it was 2015, right?
Yep.
Like, it plays like fresh, and like there's a lot of like nice touches on it that like the polish really shows.
I feel like it's where you got, if playing Metal Gear, that's kind of why it's good to play the originals, if only to see that like you when you were playing the first one, you were struggling with the control scheme and you got more used to it and you got progressively better, but that's also because the technology that existed at the time got progressively better to the point that now
absolutely.
The amount of buttons you have, and he figured out how to differentiate them. I mean, in Metal Gear 2, it was actually you could press only slightly and it would do moves. If you pressed harder, was that 3 or 4? I mean, Metal Gear 4 or 2. One of them had, it was based on how hard you press it.
I think that was 2.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of trouble with 2 and CQC.
So he was
something about CQC and Metal Gear Solid 2 was like it wasn't triggering for me, or I wasn't standing still. Is that what you have to be like standing perfectly still, or yeah? No, Okay, so high of Metal Gear Solid 5, definitely Sahelanthropus and all the missions related to it, as well as the gameplay. Low of Metal Gear Solid 5, boy, quiet is pretty problematic.
Mhm.
It's hard to ignore that as
But
a
she
low.
was at least a very strong female character.
And at the end, like, she, like, broke through the quiet ceiling. Like, that's true. And kicked those guys' asses in that very, very graphic pre-rape scene, which was definitely what was happening. And so that was cool. And then the all the dick stabbing felt at least justified.
I was texting Joel
Um,
watching you going, I forgot about all the dick stabbing. Wow.
And like at one point I remember during the stream that she like jumped up on a guy doing like a leg lariat, you know, like how, like she had his face in between her thighs, and I remember thinking, I might have said it, I don't remember. I remember thinking, well, at least before that guy dies, like that can't be too bad. And before I finished the sentence, she had stabbed him 3 times in the dick.
Yep.
Like, and I was like, okay, all right, let's just keep watching this.
I saw that moment. I was really hoping that she was going to Rey Mysterio him and just like flip him
Right?
over.
I totally get it.
And it's absolutely is. It's like, oh, this would be cool. She'd do a cool flip. No.
Stab, stab, stab.
I mean, I guess they were definitely gonna rave her, so like they had it coming, but like, let's see, another low. I don't know. Metal Gear Solid 5 is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great game. I would say that I don't know, Skullface feels like he was like sort of like just shoved in the lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Skullface wasn't referenced in previous games, right? As like some mysterious character.
No, and I
Like-
agree. He feels pretty inconsequential to the
Yeah,
events.
even though like in the course of the game, like he eventually gets crushed when
Sahelanthropus.
by Sahelanthropus, when Psycho and
Liquid.
Volgan are like doing their thing, and that they like turn on him after the rumble, and then they smash him real good.
Do they explain why he has a skull face?
I don't. Okay, so in one of the tapes that I heard today, it was a conversation between. Yeah, I know. It was a conversation between Zero and Skullface, and like Skullface was just like some, I don't know, like a Romanian assassin or something that he met and was like, I'm gonna use this person. So he's like apparently like a very old contact of Zero's. But then that's when I was like, did he get mentioned in earlier games? And I just like missed that because I've missed there's so much in this game that in this series that like I feel like it's easy to miss. So yeah, Skullface felt pretty inconsequential. And then obviously this supposed third act that never was.
Mm-hmm.
Because like when I got done with the actual finale on stream, the one thing I was like, I want more Eli, the kids, and Sahelanthropus. Like I want that to come to some what is next there. And then of course I learned fairly quickly that was the story to never be.
Yeah.
Even though you guys said that there's cutscenes out there that actually were produced.
I linked it to you. They did have like an actual cutscene. It's unfinished, but like you could see the different segment of it,
And there's
then
narration and actually
the
explained.
conclusion of it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I would say that like that sort of thing was sort of a lower point. Also, some of the, I don't know what, maybe it's because I was in a traumatic car accident as a 15-year-old and I broke my leg, but it was unsettling and almost nauseating when they were torturing Huey, specifically when they turned his cyber legs to like bend backwards the wrong way. That like made me sort of like ill when I was watching it. So I would consider that like a low point for me personally. Okay, now for this, go ahead.
How'd you feel about the twist?
Oh, I loved it. It's so stupid.
You wondered why.
I love it.
You wondered why in the beginning why you created your character.
I did. That did happen. I wondered out
Didn't I hint
loud.
at that too? Yeah. At the last time we had Kevin on, I was like, make sure to spend a long time creating your character.
Yeah. You know what? Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
What a psycho.
That's all true. No, I thought it was so dumb. I'll be honest. I was really, 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 really worried. Very worried that it was going to be all a coma dream. And then, oh my God! And then I woke up in the hospital again.
Oh yeah, you woke up in the hospital.
I woke up in the hospital again, and I thought my worst nightmare, which was that this 115 hours of video game that I just played was a coma dream. And that actually having a replay of all that fucking hospital, like, oh my God, just show me the hit and move on.
I watched the end stream that end where you were trying to like kill everybody in the room at the, like, we were waiting for the ambulance to drive through, or the tank, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. All you had to do was make your way towards the front door. And instead you were like running back and forth. And I was like, Jesus, Kevin, just go for the door. Nope.
It was a crazy time. At that point, I was like 4 hours into a stream too.
No,
it was
like I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it was 6 hours. I was there till 2.
Yeah, I was in bed by
you
then.
were tired. So I'm sure that you weren't running on all cylinders there, but
no. But it was wonderful. Okay, so let's talk about high point for the whole series.
Okay.
First of all, I do have to consider 5's gameplay as a peak for the whole series, because like it's got all the shit. By the way, today I was doing some side ops and I randomly unlocked the wormhole.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, Fulton, so that's cool. Got that working. But yeah. For the way that 4 is put together, I don't know. I really enjoy 4. 4 might be my favorite one. It's here's the thing. Not enough psycho. And one has all the good shit, all the good psycho. And Mantis is definitely my favorite character, no question. Best boss. Okay, just a personal favorite. Like, I love Psycho Mantis. So when I realized, when I put it together that in 5, the floating kid I was like, oh yes. So yeah, I was some of the, especially God, I guess that was 3. The the cherry blossoms. No. The flower fight with the boss.
Yeah.
Okay, is a pretty high moment, I think, in this series. I know that Alex, you would probably say fighting the president on the roof, which I would disagree with you, because they fucked up the landing of that video game so tremendously bad. Okay, that I cannot stop harping on it. And I'm just here to talk about honest stuff about these games, which they're all pretty great games. And if I'm gonna do one thing, it's I gotta find a better copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 to now go back and play.
It's on. It just went to PC.
I know. I just have to. do that.
Or you can do a PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, no. I don't
No, no one wants that.
So, but honestly, though, the Psycho Mantis fight from the first game, with all the weirdness and the what it would do with your memory card and all that stuff, I think that's right there. That's like a top 1 or 2 moment for me. Like, I'll always look back to like the Psycho Mantis fight as like, what? That is where I no longer understood what was happening. And that feeling has just never changed since then. So that's, yeah, I have to say that. Now, low moments for the whole series.
We already know
We
one.
know that
so let's
one.
move on.
I
from
won't
that one.
even. I won't even.
See, I like the boss as a 2. Fat man.
I think the bosses in 2 are better than the bosses in 3.
That I don't agree with.
I don't know. Here's the thing. 3 also had me wading through that swamp with all the ghosts of the enemies that I killed. That's actually a pretty great moment too. Although then I died right at the end and I had to do the whole fucking thing. That's
a low point because you were very mad.
I watched you do
that. That's because it took me it was like 17 minutes of time, actual real time.
And that is
real world time.
That is as long as the trail of bodies you left in your wake too.
You killed a lot of people, dude.
I have killed a lot of people in these video games. That's true. Another I hated it at the time. I look back and I'm like, that's hilarious. But I hated it at the time. Iroquois Pliskin.
Iroquois Pliskin?
That at the time, although at the time, Metal Gear Solid 2 actually just pissed me off a lot. Okay, more than any other of the games, Metal Gear Solid 2 just pissed me off at every moment. Oh, you're Snake, great. No, now I have to do everything again, and it's giving me all the tutorials again. But I'm not Snake. But I'll be called Snake. But okay, so all the Raiden fuckery, all of that. That's part of the reason why I love Raiden. He's like an innocent actor in all of this fuckery.
And then everybody craps on him.
And everybody shits on Raiden, which is one of the reasons why I love Metal Gear Solid 4. Is like he comes back and he kicks so much ass, but it's so stupid. With the swords coming off of his feet, like you could just spin with your arms out. They're the same length.
Oh, he's gone full edgelord in that game. It's incredible.
I love it. Love it. He holds a giant freight ship, and we all.
He's just like a torso there.
Yeah, he has his arms off, and he's just like flipping around still.
We all watched it. It was wonderful, wonderful set pieces.
Oh, you're gonna need to play Revengeance sometime. You're gonna love that.
I definitely will. I know I say a lot of shit about not doing it. I don't know that I'll do it on stream.
Man. The reason why you need to play it on stream is just because it's so out there that your reaction, especially how bombastic you can be.
All right. Well, yeah, though. So in general, like 2, like I thought it was a cool moment when all the AI general shit starts, the kernel shit starts going haywire. That's a great sequence. Okay. But like I said I wouldn't talk about it again.
It's okay. We don't have to. We have other questions.
Great. Move on.
Getty, what questions would you like asked of Gavin?
Actually, he answered most of the ones that I had. No, I just really appreciate that he's now suffered or enjoyed his way through these games now, so that he can, look back and fondly think about, like, why did I have to play through 60 hours of Skullface when he wasn't even that important?
No, he really wasn't.
Or what's the deal with the skates on Fat Man? Why did he need roller skates?
Some people I have talked to,
Yes,
have said that he's great, and in my head, I'm like, that is the dumbest.
this guy right here.
There at no point was like, ha, ha, this is wonderful. It comes at like a not funny time in the game, and then it's like just Fat Man is there,
and he's drinking a Mai Tai. He's drinking a Mai Tai,
and there's no rhyme or reason and that's I think the biggest low, to go back to that a little, is that besides magic, they basically are like, it's magic.
It's not magic, it's nanomachines.
In the end, they're like, paranormal exploration, it's magic. And then they're like, so whatever you don't buy as nanobots, okay, whatever you don't buy as AI simulation, it's just magic. Like, that's basically. Go ahead.
I think one of the strongest things about 1 is that it is so much more grounded than most of the others before you get to 5. Like, Psycho Mantis is the only sort of paranormal weird thing.
Yeah.
And he is framed as such because of being like a child prodigy or whatever. So you can still kind of, although it's out there, kind of buy it within the construct of the story and events there.
Yeah. Well, and I remember when I was playing through 1, that Alex, one of the things you talked about a lot was like, oh, see that, like, they give you all this like unnecessary details about guns or unnecessary details about like this Middle Eastern conflict and blah blah blah, or like what was it, the there was like a Canadian festival or some like,
the Alaskan the Native American tribe festival where they wrestle, where they ear wrestle each other.
Yes, the whole so like I think that's part of the reason. Like, I look back and I'm like, yeah, that's juice. Like, I like that. I even though like the gameplay experience of 1 was like really frustrating. Like I wish that there was more of that. Like, I don't recall that coming up in any of the other games where I was like, besides 5, Joel, like you said, where you're like, there's truck names and gun names and look at all this stuff, and like, I didn't feel it was they for the most part, besides 5, were missing that like comparison of being really super grounded. Like, they just it was like that in 1, and then it was just off to the fucking races. Yep. And like, we don't need. No, forget all that. In the end, I did love Mei Ling. I only Mei Ling. I know. Mei Ling. Poor Mei Ling while I was playing through 1. But
you harshed her so bad.
Yeah, you were like, damn it, Mei Ling, I don't want to hear anything from you.
Don't give me advice on how to play the game. Shut up and let me save.
I was not looking to have complex save processes at that time. I will tell you that Mei Ling gets dope as fuck in Metal Gear Solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they properly. I'm like, holy! I made so many mistakes. Mei Ling. I miss you. Like, compared to, jeez, Mei Ling is great.
So Kevin, you possibly do. I think I asked you that a while ago, and your first response was like, hell no. But now that you've kind of come around, you may return to Shadow Moses in your personal time?
I mean, no, probably not. Like I'll say I want to. We all want to play. We all want to go back and play Metal Gear Solid 1 again, right?
Yeah.
But where's the time?
Find a ROM of the Twin Snakes.
I would consider it if I got a better copy. Go back. I would even go back and like play it again on. No, I can't. I can't start a cycle of playing it again on stream. That is a bridge too far. For sure.
I had personally said your private time, because
yeah, no, I appreciate you did clarify that. That's true.
I may have to take over your slot for a little bit. We'll see.
So that's fine. So like before we move on, because I don't want to forget this.
Okay.
This is the only quote. This is the only note that I made for myself was, Metal Gear Solid 5 is a game that you can really jack off to, and I still believe that to be true. Yeah, I think you guys heard me right. If I was 16 or 17 when I played this game for the first time, I'm like, I would have jacked off.
He's way into that Metal Gear snuffleupagus.
I think we're
okay. Now hold on.
End of our time here.
Hold on. No.
I don't know that
this is what
going anywhere. So
no, that's not going anywhere at all. But I do have something that I wanted to share. I wrote a poem that I wanted to read to you guys.
This seems like a perfect end cap to this.
All right. I just wanted to share this. So if you just okay. Sorry, let me get a drink of water here.
You're really being self-indulgent.
Yeah, he's milking it here.
He's real Kojima-ing this.
Please save your snaps for the end.
He has become his own worst enemy.
From Big Shell to the graveyard, when Zero's death was near, there's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. Ocelot's a triple agent. Mantis made me shed a tear, but there's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. Pee and poo jokes commonplace and staring at Snake's rear, but there's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. From boss's boss intentions to an AI causing fear, there's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. Females treated very badly, into magic we must veer. There's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. Calorie Mate and Mountain Dew, Apple iPods for your ear. There's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. The next one won't be so bizarre. Kojima says, hold my beer. There's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear. The greatest story ever told, according to my peer. There's no place anymore for my solid Metal Gear.
My face hurts.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Oh,
I just wanted to express myself to you guys.
That was fantastic.
Via poetry, my natural form of communication.
That was fantastic.
I thought it was yelling.
We're gonna have to record that for a codec message somewhere.
Yeah. Oh my god! Right?
Oh my god, that was fantastic, Kevin. You did good work. You got to the end, and now
I made it.
I will take my licks. I will play Frog Fractions 1 through 3. Echo the Dolphin is still up. Maybe.
Absolutely. If you even just played Frog Faction, you're gonna play all three. I'm gonna make you play all three. But then after that, Echo. I'm also gonna make you play Echo. I'm just gonna keep making you think that you're done repaying me for Metal Gear Solid, but the end will never come. Or there will be lots of endings. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't written the third act yet.
Play Revengeance. You'll get your closure. Now, let's move on to one last thing. One last thing where we give one last sentence, one last statement, sending us into the weekend and you, the listener, into the weekday. For me, I watch a lot of Skater XL streamers, YouTubers, as you will. And
Of course. As we all do, I think.
I got real deep into modding Skater XL that I now also can't launch Skater XL from Steam. I have to launch it from the folder. The whole thing crashes. It crashes. It takes 3 crashes before I can play the game. I might be doing something wrong. I don't know.
It doesn't sound right.
Joel?
So ever since Rocket League went free to play, I installed it on my Switch, and I've fallen down the rabbit hole. I've fallen off the wagon again, and I'm back on my bullshit. And the problem is that on Switch, it's awful with its ping. Like since I'm playing wireless, it's just all over the place. And anybody knows that if you play Rocket League and the internet starts going wonky, like you'll be driving and then you'll just be transferred to the other side of the rink as it tries to catch up. So I'd like to apologize to anybody in competitive mode that's been with me this last couple weeks.
You're not in Diamond yet, huh?
That's the sad part. I actually think I am. Last I checked, I think since it went free to play, it's flooded the market with a lot of bad players. So,
wait, you're Diamond right now?
I thought I saw on one of my rankings.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna have to get back in Rocket League.
Hey, Sam's playing Baldur's Gate 3. Grab her Switch.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
It's free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm liable to throw the Switch.
Getty, what's your one last thing?
I've been back in Last of Us 2, and let me tell you, every time I'm like, man, this game can't possibly get any more violent or weird or just make me feel bad. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea what I did last night. Oh my god.
See, I don't want
How many vampires so far?
Can I ask you why?
Why I did what I had to do.
Okay, yeah.
That's the answer.
That's the
I
only
did what I
answer.
had to do.
The look on your face was so genuine, and maybe like you actually in actual real life, like Eric did it, like experience some trauma yourself, like not your character, like you.
The opening of that game is like, here, let me traumatize you, and then the rest of it's like, you want revenge? All right, you're not going to feel good about it, but here you go. And that's where I'm at.
Oh man,
Definitely.
That would be great if they. That'd be great if they gave
Definitely,
you a choice, like in was it Far Cry 4, where like you could just sit
Oh,
at
yeah.
the table. Do you want revenge? No, I'm okay. And then credits.
Nope. You got it.
Nope, definitely tortured somebody last night, so.
Fantastic.
like with what?
You
You know what? We don't have to.
You don't do
with a metal pipe.
Hartwig, what's your one last thing?
I wish I hadn't heard all that. I think that's it. No, my one last thing has got to be that I don't hate the Metal Gear Solid series as much as sometimes I say that I do.
As much.
I like it mostly overall.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've had a bit turn. Like you sound like sometimes you hear about like a woman who has given birth, and then like in the immediacy, it's just like that was the worst experience of my life. But as time goes on, you start looking back fondly, and you're just like, I think I can handle that again. That'll be you in a couple of years. You're like, I'm ready for my next playthrough.
No. I will think fondly and have just the one. Enough of that for me, thanks. No, you might be right about. Although I can't imagine ever restarting Metal Gear Solid 5 like that.
No,
It should not.
As you get more stuff there, it's tough going back.
Yeah, that one's you can't go back to.
Plus, it's not like you're getting any story. It's not like there's like, oh yeah, juice. Like, let me work through 30 side missions. And not even that. I'll tell you what is concerning. Here's the last word. After all I've done, 100 and whatever hours, it still says I'm only 56% of the way complete in Metal Gear Solid 5. So I don't know what
to do.
Well, yeah. Okay. But that percentage doesn't feel right.
Until you enact nuclear disarmament, you're not done. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And with that, I cue the music. You guys can't hear it. It's fine.
But we still have to finish the episode?
The music's happening right now.
Yeah, but I meant like the stuff at the end. Streaming and email us and...
No, you. That's what happens. You always do the music, then they do it. Okay. And that will be it for this week's Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us at Twitter, on Twitter, at Super GG Radio.
Nope, we're in Twitter.
And twitch.tv/SuperGG Radio, where we're streaming quite often. We got Deep Rock Galactic. Kevin has not decided on a new stream yet, but probably some Baldur's Gate 3. Getty's doing interpretive dance. I might do something very spooky, play a Halloween stream, working on Jeopardy, which is tomorrow, which will already have gone live and archived on YouTube at this point, if you are the listener. And
the one listener.
Yeah, the one listener. Also,
I'll remember this when I'm listening to it.
Also, we have merch that's going to be on a webpage on our store. We've posted it on Twitter. We're going to post it other places as well to make money for Extra Life. We are trying to make the money for the kids. So please help us raise money for them kids. We are over $2,000, and it is a big friggin' deal because our date is... Getty, what's the date of Extra Life where we play 24 hours?
November 7th.
November 7th.
We won't have a podcast.
Yes.
We won't have a podcast that week because we will be prepping for Extra Life.
Next week we will have our regularly scheduled podcast, and then the following week we will not because we'll be going 24 hours and trying not to die. We'll see how many Red Bulls Kevin can drink this year.
Last time was like 17.
It was like 17.
We don't...
Also, you're going to lose your voice. We're playing Hattiful Boyfriend.
Is that
It's the pigeon dating game.
It's the pigeon dating game.
All right, well, I'll start working on a voice now that is a little bit less damaging than my Psycho Mantis voice from last year.
Thank you.
Ugh.
Good call.
God, never again. Never again on that voice.
If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is superggradio@gmail.com, and provide a review on iTunes or the Sahelanthropist of your choice. I don't know how to say that one.
You took an audible. That's
No, you got it.
Shalashaska? Shalashaska.
Shashaladada.
Don't you?
Lale Lulelo. Thanks for listening. GG Joel.
good game.
GG Getty.
GG.
GG Kevin.
GG.
Night everybody.